There comes a moment in every believer's journey where God intentionally leads them into a place that doesn't make sense, a place where human logic reaches its limit, where understanding collapses, and where nothing you try seems to work. It is not punishment, it is not abandonment, it is not failure. It is the divine classroom where God teaches you the greatest spiritual lesson you will ever learn. He is not a God who fits inside human logic. He is not a God who operates according to human calculations. He is the God who moves beyond what the mind can grasp, beyond what the heart can predict, and beyond what life can prepare you for. Whenever God is preparing to do something that will blow your mind, He first disconnects you from depending on your own understanding. He brings you into a place where your strength is no longer enough, where your ideas no longer work, where your resources cannot fix the problem, and where the people you expected help from suddenly cannot provide it. This is not a coincidence. This is the divine setup. God allows these seasons so that your eyes stop looking to the natural and begin searching for the supernatural. When life still feels manageable, the human heart naturally tries to solve everything through its own intellect. But when God wants to reveal a miracle, He brings you into situations that your mind cannot solve. He lets you reach the end of your wisdom so you can finally discover His. This is why the most powerful encounters in Scripture always happened at the edge of human limitation. When Moses stood before an ocean with an army behind him, logic said he was trapped. Reason said it was over, but God's plan begins where human logic ends. When Elijah faced a drought with no food, logic said he should die. But logic cannot compete with divine provision. When the widow had only a little oil left, logic said it was not enough. But God never asks if something is enough. He asks if you can trust Him with what you have. This is the realm where God stretches your faith by shrinking your options. He allows limitations so you stop relying on natural answers and start leaning on supernatural power. Every closed door, every delayed promise, every confusing situation, every unanswered prayer becomes an invitation to shift your dependence from your mind to His Spirit. And when that shift happens, even before the miracle arrives, something changes inside you. Your spirit becomes more alert, more sensitive, more expectant. You start sensing that God is up to something unusual, something extraordinary, something that will break the boundaries of what you once thought possible. The reason God moves beyond human logic is because His plans are far greater than human minds can contain. If He showed you everything at once, you would be overwhelmed. If He explained every step, you would doubt it. If He revealed the magnitude of His intentions, you would think it was too big for your life. So God hides His greatest works behind the veil of mystery. He hides breakthroughs inside battles. He hides promotion inside problems. He hides increase inside impossibility, and only when your faith rises higher than your understanding can you step into what He has prepared for you. There is a divine pattern in the way God works. First, He disrupts your comfort. Then, He dismantles your plans. Then, He disconnects you from people you depended on. Then, He disrupts everything you thought was secure. This is not destruction. This is construction. This is God tearing down the foundation of human trust, so He can rebuild your life on the foundation of His supernatural power. When He rebuilds you with a faith that is no longer shaken by circumstances, no longer intimidated by impossibility, and no longer controlled by fear. It is in seasons of confusion where God molds the strongest believers, not when life is smooth, not when doors open easily, not when prayers are answered immediately, but when you wake up and wonder, Lord, what are you doing? It is in that questioning, in that confusion, in that stretching where your faith grows beyond the level of your logic. Logic is limited, faith is limitless. Logic sees obstacles, faith sees opportunities. Logic counts losses. Faith anticipates miracles. Logic looks at what is in your hands. Faith looks at what is in God's hands. When God is about to blow your mind, He shifts you from seeing through your natural eyes to seeing through spiritual eyes. Natural eyes see darkness. Spiritual eyes see preparation. Natural eyes see scarcity. Spiritual eyes see the breeding ground for abundance. Natural eyes see emptiness. Spiritual eyes see the stage for overflow. The moment your vision changes, everything around you begins to align with heaven's plan. You begin to walk differently, pray differently, expect differently. You stop trying to control life and start allowing God to control the outcome. And when God takes control, He always moves in ways that leave you speechless. He opens doors that were sealed shut. He sends help from places you never imagined. He orchestrates divine connections that accelerate your destiny. He whispers ideas that shift your entire future. He positions you for blessings that you didn't work for, favor you didn't earn, and breakthroughs you didn't even pray big enough to ask for. God's movement goes beyond logic because His purpose for your life goes beyond what your mind can imagine. There is a moment coming where you will look back and realize that every confusing season was guiding you into a supernatural one. The things you labeled as setbacks were actually strategic setups. The things you thought were losses were actually seeds. The delays you complained about were actually protection. The disappointments you cried over were actually redirections. God is not confined to your understanding. He is not limited by your reasoning. When He moves in dimensions that transcend human thought. And when He finally reveals what He has been preparing behind the scenes, it will exceed your imagination, overpower your expectations, and silence your doubts. This is how God moves beyond human logic and positions you for a breakthrough that will bring glory to His name and leave you in awe of His power. There are seasons when it feels as if your life is moving slowly, as if everything you prayed for is taking longer than expected, and as if you are walking through spiritual mud. You try, you push, you work, you fast, you pray, but nothing seems to shift. It is in these slow, silent seasons where the enemy whispers, maybe God forgot you. Maybe the promise is delayed forever. Maybe things will never change. But what the enemy doesn't know, and what you must remember, is that when God seems silent, He is not still. When He seems distant, He is designing. When He seems delayed, He is developing a plan that will not come in human timing, but in divine acceleration. And when divine acceleration arrives, everything that took months will take moments. Everything that took years will be restored in a season. And everything that looked impossible will suddenly be placed into your hands. Divine acceleration is not ordinary speed. It is not human momentum. It is not natural progress. It is supernatural power that takes your life from slow movement to sudden breakthrough. It is the moment when heaven touches your timeline. It is when God compresses time, rearranges destiny, and positions you for blessings that should have taken 20 years to achieve. When acceleration hits, the same person who was overlooked will suddenly be promoted. The same door that was blocked will swing open. The same opportunities that were closed will begin to chase you. The same dream that felt distant will begin to manifest right before your eyes. Divine acceleration is God saying, "You have waited long enough. Now watch what happens when I step into your situation." The reason acceleration takes time is because God prepares the vessel before He releases the speed. He strengthens your character before He enlarges your territory. He shapes your humility before He gives you a platform. He trains your spirit before He releases influence. Many people want sudden blessings without the process, but acceleration without preparation destroys. So God, in His wisdom, slows things down until you learn the lessons necessary to carry what He is about to release. Every delay in your life was not punishment, it was protection. Every slow season was building spiritual stamina, understanding, and maturity, so you would not collapse under the weight of the blessing that is coming. When divine acceleration comes, it will not look like the natural progress of the world. It will look like supernatural leaps. It will look like results that make people ask, "How did this happen so fast?" It will look like increase that cannot be explained by your qualifications. It will look like breakthroughs that cannot be connected to your resources. It will look like favor that cannot be traced to any human connection. That's because acceleration removes human fingerprints and reveals the hand of God. Throughout Scripture, every major breakthrough came through divine acceleration. Joseph moved from prison to palace in a single day. David went from shepherd to king in a moment chosen by God. Esther went from orphan to queen by divine appointment. The disciples fished all night with no results, but when Jesus stepped into the boat, one moment shifted everything. This is acceleration, when heaven interrupts the natural order of time and releases a result that defies human logic. God is not limited by your years of waiting. He is not intimidated by how long the enemy has resisted you. He does not need time to bless you. He simply chooses the right moment, and when that moment arrives, everything changes instantly. When God releases divine acceleration, you feel a shift in your spirit before you see it with your eyes. You sense new energy, new clarity, new passion, and new strength. You begin to feel like you are being pulled instead of pushed. You realize that what once required force now flows with ease. You no longer have to chase. Blessings begin to chase you. You no longer beg for opportunities. Doors begin to open on their own. You no longer strive to be seen. God elevates you without your effort. Divine acceleration carries you the same way wind carries a ship, effortless speed produced by supernatural force. This is the season where God is fast, tracking what concerns you. He is accelerating your healing. He is accelerating your restoration. He is accelerating your financial breakthroughs. He is accelerating your spiritual growth. He is accelerating your influence. He is accelerating everything the enemy tried to delay. The reason the warfare increased is because the enemy senses the acceleration. He fights hardest right before God lifts you. He attacks your mind because he cannot stop your destiny. He tries to exhaust your spirit because he sees what heaven is about to release. But what the enemy meant for frustration, God is turning into confirmation. You are entering a time where you will recover in months what the enemy took in years. You will rebuild in a season what you lost in a decade. You will rise to a level that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. People will ask how you grew so quickly, how you overcame so fast, how you achieved so much in such a short time, and the only answer will be, it was God. Divine acceleration turns you into a walking testimony of supernatural timing, supernatural favor, and supernatural power. When God accelerates your life, nothing can slow you down. Not the past, not the enemy, not the opinions of people, not your mistakes, not your delays. When God says go, no one can say stop. When God says now, no one can say later. When God says move forward, no one can push you back. Your life is not controlled by clocks or calendars. Your life is controlled by the author of time himself. And when he steps in, everything aligns, everything shifts, everything flows, and everything changes. Before God unveils something extraordinary in your life, he first prepares the vessel that will carry it. Divine blessings require divine capacity, and divine capacity is not formed in moments of comfort, but in seasons of stretching, refining, and spiritual construction. Whenever God is preparing to manifest something greater, He begins by working on you from the inside out. He examines your heart, your motives, your priorities, and your spiritual posture. He clears away the clutter, the noise, the distractions, and the attachments that would interfere with the blessing he is about to release. What looks like loss is actually preparation. What feels like delay is actually development. What seems like a setback is actually God shaping you for a manifestation that your current version cannot contain. God never releases a blessing where there is no foundation to sustain it. He prepares you so the blessing will not break you. He prepares you so the increase will not overwhelm you. He prepares you so the opportunity will not crush you. Many pray for miracles, but few understand the molding that happens before miracles appear. And because this preparation happens in silence, many assume God is inactive. But the truth is, God does his deepest work in hidden seasons. He prepares you in the quiet so he can promote you in the open. He builds you privately so he can bless you publicly. He strengthens your spirit when no one is watching so you can carry impact when everyone is watching. During this preparation season, God begins to remove certain people from your life. Not because you are better than them, but because they cannot walk into the next dimension of your calling. Some people are only assigned to your past, not your future. Some were part of your survival story, but cannot be part of your success story. Some were meant to walk with you for a chapter, but not the whole book. When God begins to separate you from certain relationships, it is not rejection. It is protection. He is clearing the atmosphere around you so your spirit can be aligned with his voice and sensitive to his direction. God also works on your inner world. He purifies motives that were mixed. He breaks pride that you didn't know was hiding in your heart. He dismantles fear that was buried deep inside you. He uproots doubt that lingered in your thoughts. He exposes insecurities so they can no longer sabotage your future. Preparation often comes through pressure. Pressure reveals what needs to be healed. Pressure uncovers what needs to be surrendered. Pressure forces you to confront things you would have ignored in comfort. You may feel like everything in your life is being shaken, but that shaking is divine. God shakes off what cannot go into the next season. He shakes your routines, he shakes your attachments, he shakes your comfort zones, he shakes your dependence on people, he shakes your unhealthy patterns, he shakes anything that is limiting your spiritual growth. The shaking is not a sign of destruction, it is a sign that something greater is coming. Before God manifests glory, he always removes the unnecessary. You might think, why is everything being taken away? Why does it feel like my life is shrinking instead of expanding? Because God always prunes before he multiplies. A gardener cuts the tree, not to hurt it, but to make it bear more fruit. In the same way, God reduces so he can increase. He cuts so he can add. He removes so he can replace with something better. Preparation is the spiritual pruning that leads to supernatural manifestation. Another part of preparation is waiting, not passive waiting, but spiritual waiting, where your heart is being trained to trust even when nothing changes. Waiting is the training ground of faith. Waiting builds endurance. Waiting sharpens discernment. Waiting strengthens obedience. Waiting removes self-dependence. Waiting detoxes your desires until only God's will remains. In waiting, God teaches you that blessings are not earned. They are received through alignment and surrender. And while you wait, God is working behind the scenes in ways you cannot see. He is reorganizing circumstances. He is positioning people. He is opening doors quietly. He is arranging divine connections. He is orchestrating timing. He is building the future while he builds you. What feels like inactivity is actually divine intelligence at work. God is a master strategist. Every detail is intentional. Every season is purposeful. Every delay is calculated to prepare you for a manifestation that will not just bless you, but elevate your entire life. When you are being prepared, God will test your obedience with small instructions. He will test your faith with small challenges. He will test your patience with slow seasons. He will test your integrity with hidden opportunities. These spiritual tests refine you. They develop the character required to handle the weight of the blessing that is coming. God does not prepare the blessing for you. He prepares you for the blessing. Some of the greatest spiritual breakthroughs are found in the most uncomfortable seasons. You grow the most when nothing makes sense. You mature the most when everything feels uncertain. You rise the most when you are being stretched. God uses discomfort as a tool. He uses silence as a teacher. He uses confusion as a sculptor. He uses loneliness as a purifier. Every part of your preparation is chosen with precision because God is not just preparing you for a blessing. He is preparing you for destiny. When manifestation comes, it will be obvious why God had to prepare you the way He did. You will realize why certain people had to leave, why certain doors had to close, why certain dreams had to wait, and why certain seasons felt heavy. You will see that nothing was wasted. You will understand that the preparation was the protection, the pruning was the doorway, the silence was the shaping, the delay was the development. God was not punishing you. He was positioning you. The deeper the preparation, the greater the manifestation. God does not prepare you for small breakthroughs. He prepares you for supernatural ones. He prepares you for blessings that exceed your prayers. He prepares you for opportunities you did not expect. He prepares you for favor that will shock you. And when the preparation is complete, God releases manifestation that is so powerful, so overwhelming, so undeniable that you will know beyond all doubt that He was working all along, shaping you into the vessel capable of carrying His glory, His purpose, and His promise. Every believer reaches a moment in life when the situation appears completely impossible. You look at what's in front of you, and it seems unchangeable. The mountain looks too high, the battle looks too fierce, the door looks permanently shut, the diagnosis looks final, the finances look hopeless, the relationship looks beyond repair, and the future looks unclear. In these moments, the human mind begins to whisper, "There is no way out." But the God you serve is not limited by impossibility. What is impossible to you is natural to Him. What you cannot do, He accomplishes with a single word. Where you see a dead end, He sees a pathway. Where you see limits, He sees unlimited power. Impossible is simply the stage God uses to reveal His glory. Throughout Scripture, God consistently chooses impossible situations to display His supernatural authority. He allowed the Red Sea to trap Israel, so that when the waters parted, Israel would never again doubt His power. He allowed the walls of Jericho to stand tall, so that when they fell without a single weapon, His people would know victory comes through obedience, not strength. He allowed Sarah's womb to remain barren until age 90, so that the miracle of Isaac would prove that timing is irrelevant when God decides to move. Every impossible situation becomes a canvas for God's greatest work. When you face impossibility, God is not testing your strength. He is testing your perspective. He wants to shift your eyes from the natural to the supernatural. If you only look at the facts, you will conclude that there is no hope. But faith does not grow by staring at facts. Faith grows by staring at God's promises. Faith is the ability to say, "This is impossible for me, but completely possible for Him." Faith is not denial. It is recognition. Recognition that God operates in dimensions beyond what your eyes can see and your mind can understand. God often allows impossibility so you stop depending on your own abilities. As long as you think you can fix it, you will not surrender it. As long as you believe you can handle it, you will not invite Him into it. Impossibility strips you of self-reliance and positions you for divine intervention. When God allows you to reach the limit of your resources, it is because He wants you to discover the unlimited nature of His. When He allows everything to fall apart, it is because He is preparing to rebuild it in a way that leaves no doubt that His hand was involved. Impossibility is the atmosphere of miracles. Jesus never performed miracles where human strength was enough. He performed them where human strength was powerless. He healed the blind because they could not heal themselves. He raised the dead because no one else could. He walked on water because nature itself needed to bow to His voice. He fed thousands with a few loaves and fish to show that heaven does not operate on earthly mathematics. Every miracle declared the same message: God does not need what you lack, He only needs what you surrender. When God decides to make the impossible possible, He does not start by changing your situation. He starts by changing your faith. He enlarges your expectation. He strengthens your courage. He deepens your trust. Once your heart aligns with His power, the breakthrough becomes inevitable. You stop praying small prayers and start praying mountain-moving prayers. You stop thinking in limitations and start thinking in divine possibilities. You stop worrying about how and begin focusing on who. The moment your faith shifts, heaven begins to move. Sometimes God allows the impossible so He can introduce you to a new side of His identity. You have seen Him provide, but now He wants to show you that He can multiply. You have seen Him protect, but now He wants to show you that He can deliver. You have seen Him guide, but now He wants to show you that He can resurrect. The impossible is not a barrier. It is a doorway to deeper revelation. It is the space where God reveals His sovereignty, His authority, His creativity, and His unmatched power. And when God moves, He does so in ways no human could orchestrate. He does not merely open a door, He creates one. He does not simply restore what you lost, He gives you more than you had. He does not only solve the problem, He transforms your entire environment. His answers are bigger than your prayers, His solutions are higher than your thoughts, and His methods are far beyond anything you could have imagined. When God makes the impossible possible, it leaves you speechless, humbled, and overflowing with awe. What looks impossible to you right now is not a dead end. It is divine preparation. It is the foundation for a miracle. It is the place where God is about to reveal His glory. Impossible situations are not signs of God's absence. They are signs of His upcoming intervention. He allows you to come to the end of your ability so you can finally witness His. Every closed door, every failed attempt, every declining circumstance is building the perfect moment for Him to step in. The pressure you feel is not the pressure of defeat. It is the pressure of a miracle preparing to manifest. The God who spoke galaxies into existence can speak one word and change your entire life. The God who holds the universe can hold every broken piece of your situation. The God who defeated death can defeat anything that stands against you. He has no limitations, He has no boundaries, He has no impossibilities, and every time you trust Him in a situation where human help cannot reach you, you give Him the opportunity to show you what only He can do. There are moments in life when everything feels ordinary, predictable, and familiar. You go through the motions, you repeat the same routines, you face the same challenges, and you wonder if anything new will ever happen. But what you do not see is that while your life looks still on the outside, something is shifting on the inside of your destiny. Heaven is working quietly, strategically, deliberately. God is preparing a season that will not look like your past, not resemble your present, and not follow the patterns of what you've already experienced. Your next season will not be a continuation of what has been. It will be a divine interruption that shocks even you. The blessings coming will not be small, they will not be subtle, they will not be predictable, they will arrive in a way that leaves you saying, "I didn't see this coming." God often hides your next season in what looks like silence. When He is about to elevate you, He does not always announce it with signs or signals. He often works in secret. He hides breakthroughs behind ordinary days. He hides miracles inside routine moments. He hides transformation inside seasons that look unchanging. You may feel like nothing is moving, but that's because God is building what you are about to step into. His greatest works begin long before they become visible. Just because you cannot see progress does not mean God is not preparing it. Your next season will shock you because God is orchestrating a level of favor that human effort cannot produce. He is preparing opportunities you did not apply for. He is arranging connections you did not search for. He is opening doors you did not knock on. He is sending blessings you did not expect. This is the kind of season where God does more in a moment than you could do in a lifetime, where prayers you forgot you prayed begin to manifest, where seeds you sowed years ago begin to produce a harvest, where closed doors suddenly open, where long delays suddenly break, where spiritual battles suddenly end. It's a divine acceleration wrapped in divine surprise. Sometimes before God launches this shocking season, He leads you into a period of divine separation. He isolates you, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Isolation sharpens your discernment. It quiets the noise. It exposes things you depended on that cannot enter your next season. Some friends cannot go with you. Some environments cannot support you. Some habits cannot survive where God is taking you. When God begins to remove things from your life, it is a sign that a new season is about to unfold. You are not losing. You are leveling up. Your next season will shock you because it will not reflect the pain you endured. Many people expect their tomorrow to mirror their yesterday, but God specializes in divine reversals. You cried in one season, but you will rejoice in the next. You suffered loss in one season, but you will recover double in the next. You were overlooked in one season, but you will be chosen in the next. You felt forgotten in one season, but you will be honored in the next. God is not going to let your pain be wasted. Everything you endured is now becoming the foundation for what you are about to receive. What makes your next season so powerful is that it will not come from your strength. It will come from God's sovereignty. You will know that it was His hand, His timing, His direction, and His favor that lifted you. You will know that if it were up to your ability, it would have never happened. The shock of the next season is not just in the blessing. It's in the realization that God was preparing it long before you even prayed for it. He was shaping the path when you thought nothing was happening. He was aligning the right people when you thought doors were closed. He was positioning you for elevation while you thought you were standing still. In your next season, things will begin to align without force. Opportunities will flow naturally. Obstacles will be removed easily. Unexpected help will show up. Unexpected provision will appear. Unexpected breakthroughs will manifest. You will walk into a level of grace that makes the hard seasons worth it. You will see why God didn't let certain things work out. You will understand why certain relationships ended. You will realize why certain delays were necessary. God has not been withholding anything from you. He has been protecting what He is preparing to give you. Your next season will also shock the people around you. Those who doubted you will witness your elevation. Those who underestimated you will be surprised by your transformation. Those who overlooked you will watch God position you. Your rise will not be quiet. Your breakthrough will not be hidden. Your testimony will speak for itself. God will make your story a demonstration of His power. He will use your life as evidence that He is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that you can ask or think. This next season is not just a blessing, it is a divine statement. A statement that you are chosen, a statement that you are covered, a statement that you are strengthened, a statement that no storm could stop you, no attack could break you, no delay could derail you, and no enemy could defeat you. Your next season will testify that God's hand has been on you the entire time. You are standing on the edge of a shift. You are on the verge of a breakthrough. You are closer than you think. Heaven is about to unveil something that will leave you in awe. Doors you thought were permanently shut are about to open. Prayers you thought were denied are about to be answered. Dreams you thought were dead are about to come alive. God is preparing to reveal a chapter of your life that will not look like anything you have lived before. You are stepping into a season that will shock you, not because you are worthy, but because God is faithful. As we come to the close of this powerful message, let your heart hold tightly to everything you have received. You have walked through the depths of spiritual understanding, learning how God positions, shapes, molds, and prepares those He has chosen for uncommon assignments. Every test you faced, every season of silence, every delay, every hidden battle, none of it was meaningless. Heaven has been sculpting you into a vessel that can hold the weight of divine purpose. Your pain has carried prophecy, your wilderness has carried wisdom, and your waiting has carried power. This entire journey has been a reminder that God does not choose the qualified, He qualifies the chosen. He hides His strongest warriors in seasons of obscurity, so no man can take credit for what He is about to do. He stretches you so your spirit can expand. He refines you so your character can sustain what your anointing is calling you into. He isolates you so you can hear His voice without distortion, and He tests you so you can walk into your destiny without breaking under its pressure. Every chapter of your life has been orchestrated with precision and purpose. Even the battles you didn't understand were building spiritual muscles you didn't know you needed. Even the losses that broke your heart were clearing room for blessings that heaven had already written with your name on them. You were never forgotten, you were never overlooked, you were being prepared, and now you stand on the edge of a divine shift. When God chooses someone, He never leaves them where He found them. He develops them, elevates them, strengthens them, and then He reveals them. The same God who saw you crying in private will honor you in public. The same God who walked with you through the valley will raise you to the mountain. The same God who allowed storms to shape you will now use those storms as the testimony that lifts others. You are stepping into a season where every lesson will make sense. Every wound will become wisdom, and every tear will become oil. Nothing in your life has been wasted. Everything has been woven into the divine design of what God is building in you and through you. Your steps are ordered, your purpose is alive, and your destiny is unstoppable. Take this message with you, not as inspiration for the moment, but as revelation for your journey. Walk boldly, stand firmly, believe deeply. The God who began this work in you is faithful to complete it. The preparation is over, the shaping is done, the season of testing has accomplished its work. Now get ready. What God has prepared is greater than what you lost, bigger than what you imagined, and closer than you think.